So in the Metta Sutta it says, Karaniya matta kusalena yantan santam padam abhisameccha sakko ujucha sujucha sujo chassamudu anati mani. That he who is skilled in working out his own well-being and who wishes to attain the state of calm, nibbana, should act thus. He should be dexterous, upright, exceedingly upright, obedient, gentle and humble. So Buddha is explaining over here the qualities that one should have if that person is going to attain nibbana, what qualities he should have. So there are a few words here, upright, exceedingly upright. And these two terms we have marked in a diagram. You remember the Vatthugama Sutta diagram? In that diagram, we are marking these parts from the Metta Sutta. So first we have this upright and exceedingly upright. What it means by upright and exceedingly upright. You see, when I was meditating one day, I found that my mind was not getting concentrated. And I was looking at why my mind is not getting concentrated. And then I found that the day before, night time, some people came to our house, and so I was making jokes here and there for those people. So when my mind becomes sort of concentrated, just about to be concentrated, since my consciousness, like those jokes, it's going there and be with those jokes. So then I decided these jokes are considered as frivolous talks. So these frivolous talks are harming my meditation. So I don't want those frivolous talks. I will give up those things. Hereafter I am not going to do that. So first I approve that the frivolous talk is bad. Next I abide by that one. So the approval part is in the upright. Exceedingly upright means that you are abiding by the rule that you actually sort of approve yourself. So after 1 week or so the next day my meditation was fine, and 1 week or so I found again that my mind is not getting concentrated. And I was looking at why my mind is not getting concentrated. And that day I did not have frivolous talks, but I had harsh speech. So then I decided harsh speech is a problem for me, for my meditation. So I should be giving up the harsh speech. So you can see day by day, I added those precepts one by one, and then you say that I am abiding by those things. Now that is what is called upright and exceedingly upright. When you become upright and exceedingly upright, the next word is the obedient. The suvacha is in the Pali. So this one is explained by Venerable Moggallana. There was this discourse called Anumana Sutta. In the middle saying that this is the 15th discourse in that one. And in that discourse, Venerable Moggallana says that certain bhikkhus think that elderly bhikkhus, arahants, they should be sort of advising me. I am a person who should need to be advised, and so on. So then those elderly monks go there and try to teach him Dhamma, and then they find that it is difficult to admonish this person, and because he is impatient and does not take instructions rightly. And then the Venerable Moggallana explained the qualities that make him is difficult to admonish. When they found that this person, they can't admonish this person, they say this person not to be trusted. That's what they actually say. So the qualities that make someone difficult to admonish, the first one they're talking about is here a bhikkhu has evil wishes and is dominated by evil wishes. So that is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. Like, let's say, a monk sort of fond of these robe materials, and not giving up, that some people eat quite a lot and sleep quite a lot and so on. So When someone is of that nature, it's difficult to admonish such a person. So that is the first one. And the next one is again a bhikkhu loves himself and disparages others. This is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. The Pali word is atumkamsu. In other words, he is putting himself up. Let's say there are two monks. There is this elder monk and there is a younger monk. So this younger monk see one day that the elder monk is breaking some sort of a precept, some sort of a rule of conduct. And out of compassion, this younger monk is telling to the elder monk, Bhante, you broke this rule. So just pinpoint it. And then the elder monk is saying, you think you are capable of admonishing me, capable of instructing me? So that is wrong. Even if we have a small child and that child is actually telling you, Mom, Dad, what you are doing is wrong. And if it is the truth, then we need to abide by that one. We need to accept the truth. Just because I am Mom, I am Dad, we should not be actually throwing out the truth. So that is the second quality. And then the third one is talking about the bhikkhu is angry and is overcome by anger. This is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. And again, in the Metta Sutta, yesterday you analyze these four things, that is envy, stinginess, the derogation and disparaging. And those things are the things that make him difficult to admonish. So if you don't have those things, then you are obedient. If a person is obedient, then you don't need to ask, let me have this Dhamma and sort of thing. Those arahants see this person as a good person and they actually teach you Dhamma. So in order to come to the obedient thing, you need to have the upright and exceeding upright. Only you can become exceedingly upright only if you become upright. So you can become obedient only if you have the exceedingly upright. So you need to abide by these virtue parts here to get into the obedient nature. And the third word coming in that list is the gentle. So one should be gentle. In order for me to explain the gentleness, I need to explain this number 8 over here, the courteous. Opposite of that one is that the rudeness. One is rude, impoliteness. So there are three kinds of impoliteness. There's a bodily impoliteness, verbal impoliteness, and the mental impoliteness. And it is explained in the Mahanidesa, what is the bodily impoliteness. Let's say these monks has got a order. The senior monk is in the first seat, the next senior monk is in the second seat, and so on. So this person is breaking this rule and he is actually going in front, then breaking the order. Or maybe that they sort of decide that today when we are actually doing the walking meditation, let's use the top one, not on the bottom part, that they have, if there are two places to do that meditation. So this monk is breaking the rule. If the other monks are on the top place that they are actually walking, then he is going to the bottom one and walking in that line. So that's sort of a bodily impoliteness. And then there is this verbal impoliteness. The verbal impoliteness is that, let's say some people gather and then this person is going there without any invitation, he is actually preaching the Dhamma. The Dhamma, even Dhamma has to be preached after an invitation. The Buddha preached Dhamma after the invitation of Sambhati Mahabrahma. So I have seen this one in Australia very heavily when I was working. When I go to a meeting, one day I saw that meeting starts at 9. The chairman was there and there was someone who started his meeting and 5 minutes to 9 o'clock. He didn't stop for 20 minutes. He didn't allow chairman to utter a word. So that is this verbal impoliteness. If there is a chairman, then you need to, he was appointed by the, department head or whoever. So you need to let him do his job. We need to speak only if you are asked a question. That's all we need to do. But if you see that everybody is heading in the bad direction, out of compassion, then you can say something. So otherwise it is the verbal impoliteness. And then there is this mental impoliteness. For the mental impoliteness, let's say there is this king and his servant. So the servant is sort of treating the king very well. And then let's say one day both of them decide to become monks. So when they become monk, that servant is now thinking, I am equivalent to the king. So by being a monk, what he achieve is that the kingship, I'm like a king now, because the king is in the mind. That some people, when there are these clubs, tennis clubs or whatever, the soccer clubs or whatever, this person is in the club, so I am joining that club because I say I know that person is in the club, like that one. So he is now thinking he is in the king's club. So he is actually putting himself up in that way. That is the mental impoliteness. You see, the differences will emerge if they both become disrobed. Then you can see the king will become a king, then this servant become the servant. So the differences will emerge. So this does not mean that monks has got some sort of a disparity like that, that I am above, I am below and sort of thing. But it is this person is thinking that way. That is the problem. And you wonder why he is actually thinking I am equal to the king, because he is thinking about the king is having a good time. It's a royal family. Now, by being a monk, I sort of included in the royal family. So I will have the royal pleasure. That sort of thing is coming to his mind. And again, it says that someone is not a speaker of Dhamma, but he thinks he is a speaker of Dhamma. Or maybe he, when he was meditating, he got the first jhana level for a second or two. And then, let's say after the jhana, this meditation, when he was eating or after eating, then he thinking, I went to the first jhana level today. So it is really good. And who else in the world that, go into this first jhana? That's Brahma. Brahma is in the first jhana. So I am equivalent to the Brahma. So he's putting himself up in that way. And again, the second jhana, third jhana, the neither perception nor non-perception level, 8th jhana level. So for a second or two, one may reach that one. But he thinks that I am equivalent to the person who has been born in that world. He is in the 8th jhana level. So I am equivalent to that one. So that is this mental impoliteness. So if you do not have bodily impoliteness and the verbal impoliteness, then you are gentle. Bodily and the verbal one is not there, then you become gentle. When one becomes gentle, then you become humble, anatimani. Remember yesterday we were looking at this arrogance. So the opposite of that one, arrogance is atimana, opposite of that one is humble. So when one becomes gentle, one becomes humble. Remember we explained how you become arrogance. If a 16-year-old girl, if she is beautiful, because of the beauty, that she sort of become arrogance. So actually the condition for the arrogance is the lack of virtue, not having virtue. So now you can see this is a knowledge path. We started with the virtue. Upright means I am refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. I am refraining from lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks and slander. So when you have that, then you come to 3. When you come to 3, you come to 4. When you come to 4, then you can come to 4, 5. That is humble, because this virtue is there. coming along the way. It's a knowledge path. Dhamma flows through that path. So, so one become humble. So now that is this the first gatha, and let's go to the second one. So we look at the first one over here, gentle and humble. Next one is says santussakocha subarocha appakicchocha sallokavatti santrindriyocha nipakocha appagabbu kulesu ananugiddu. Contented, easily supportable, with few responsibilities of simple livelihood, controlling the senses, prudent, courteous, and not hanker after association with families. So the santussakocha means contented, and the subarocha means easily supportable. So easily supportable means Buddha said that if a monk, sort of depending on those 4 requisites, the raw material, there are 8 requisites. If someone is using those things, then that person is like a bird. Bird, whenever it is flying, it is taking its wings with it and go there. Like if you have the 8 requisites, the raw material and so on, then you can, then you can go wherever you go. So such a monk is very easy to support, because you just need to give them food and that person live from that. But if the monk is called into the temple and many things, then the maintaining is not easy, because then you need to maintain the temple as well as the monk. And with few responsibilities, appakicca means the few responsibilities. So if we don't have few responsibilities, then it is very difficult for us to do any meditation, because that I have got this one, I am busy, I can't do this meditation. So we got to have the simple things, not many tasks. Who actually created this situation, having these many responsibilities? We ourselves, we do that one. You see, one good example is that Sri Lanka today, if you are living in a house, 1-story building, 1-story house, maybe your neighbor constructed 2-story house because his house is broken or something. So he's in the 2-story, then I am in the 1-story building. So you are thinking, oh, I should construct 3-story building. So then you take a bigger loan. When you take a bigger loan, that means you are working longer as well. Earlier you were working 8 hours, now you are doing 2 jobs, maybe working 12 hours. I met someone who has done that sort of thing, and he was saying that he couldn't sleep at night time because the bank can come and take the house. And he said only happiness he had was that he went to a temple and went underneath the bo tree to light up those lamps. And then he heard this noise, the leaves are, shattering over there. And he said it was the only happiness I had for many, many years. And then underneath the bo tree, he decided, I will somehow pay this mortgage and then I will get out of this mess. So he was lucky he could do that. But I have met some people who couldn't do that. The bank took their properties. You see, when we are living over here, you can see you are actually living in a 1 meter square sort of a block. The rest is in your mind. So if your house is, not getting wet, and that is good enough. So you don't need a bigger house and things like that. If your vehicle is driving you to the work, if the 4 wheels are rotating, that's good enough. You don't need a Benz car or, the bigger car sort of scenario. So whatever the effort that you are putting, spending time to get that money, to have the bigger car, bigger loans, bigger house, bigger loans. So you had all those things in your previous births, many, many births. You have been kings, queens, in the Brahma worlds and everywhere. You were in the hell as well. So why we think about going, we just forget. So we always think about these things. And no need to do that one because you already had it before. And so just have a simple livelihood and then use the time for the meditation to end the samsara, going from birth to birth. So we got to have simple livelihood. Controlling the senses, controlling the sense, santrindriya, the controlling the faculties. So controlling the faculties, we have marked that one in the diagram, controlling the senses. So we were here at number 5. So there isn't a direct path coming from 5 to 6 over here. There is a path going up and then coming down. To do this one, that means my humbleness is my qualification for me to control the senses. If I am not humble, that means I am arrogant, then I can't control these things. So what's the good example over here? Let's take that how we become arrogant. We become arrogant, a 16-year-old girl. If she is beautiful, she is arrogant. So how does she know that she is beautiful? What is the measure? Sometimes people say that go in front of a mirror. Go in front of a mirror does not give you that idea because it's only you actually saying that you are beautiful. You need to hear it from other people. So in other words, you need to look at other people, whether they are looking at you. That's the measure. When I was actually watching TV those days, I saw one interview. One of those actress was sort of interviewed. She's now old. And then she was telling, if nobody is looking at, then there's no point. There's no value. You see that people go to look at. So that's why we have this beauty and the value is there. So there's in the discourse as well, the Buddha is also telling that the person is actually looking at other people to see whether they are looking at me. So in other words, this 16-year-old girl, to find out that I am beautiful, she is looking at other people. Are they looking at me? So when she look at the other person, then she gets the sign and features of the other person. This place is like that, this place is like that, and so on. So then she can't control her faculties. So by being arrogant, she can't control the faculties. When someone becomes humble, then they can control the faculties. Although we said this one using simple example, the Dhamma is going more deeper than that one, which I will explain with a diagram. This is a diagram that we constructed for discussing the Sabbasa Sutta, destruction of taints, all taints discourse. I found in Pattanapali 3, Pattanapali is from the Abhidhamma Pitaka, in the 3rd volume of that one. Pattanapali is a very big thing. It has got about, one book has got about 2000 pages. So there are 5 books. No one has ever translated into any language. It's in the Pali language only. So it took about 2 days for me to find out this one. It says if you have a taint of views, Ditthya-astral, then you will get Kama-astral, taint of sensual desire. If you have a taint of views, you get the taint of ignorance. If you have a taint of ignorance, then you get taint of views. If you have a taint of ignorance, then you get the taint of sensual desire. If you have a taint of sensual desire, then you get the taint of ignorance. The taint of existence is a bit isolated. And if you have the taint of existence, then you get the taint of ignorance. You don't need, these are very valuable links. We know the value of these things now. But for you, at this stage, you need only one link. The taint of views. If I have taint of views, then I have the taint of sensual desire. Taint of views lead to taint of sensual desire. What does that mean? What is the effect of that one? You see, sometimes you meditate in the morning. You think that these are 32 parts of the body or this urine excrement and sort of thing, or maybe the dead body type thing. Having done that contemplation, you go onto the street, and when you are walking, sometimes you see a beautiful person. Having seen that beautiful person, you straightway say, she is so beautiful. And as soon as you say that one, maybe 1 minute later or so, you get into your mind, your consciousness, you're thinking, well, didn't I do the meditation this morning thinking about these are like dead bodies, the urine, excrement and so on? Isn't my meditation working for me? And then, although you actually think that way, there is someone inside you sort of telling you, look, otherwise you are going to miss the chance. Who is that person? Who is telling you inside, in your mind, in your head, look, otherwise you are going to miss the chance. It is this state of views. Because you have perceived those objects before, touched, contacted, and had some sort of pleasure with that one. So therefore, you have this taint of views. So the taint of views then coming in on your way against your meditation and sort of saying, look, have a look, otherwise you are going to miss the chance. So in other words, when you look at someone, two people are hitting. One is the sign and features of that person. This place is like that one and so on. The other person is this taint of views. So if I am humble, I have a less taint of views. If I don't have the taint of views, you can see, then I don't have the taint of sensual desire. So no two persons are hitting me. Only the sign and features of the other person. In other words, since I am humble, I have the less taint of view. Therefore, I have the less taint of sensual desire. Therefore, now I can control my senses. There isn't anyone inside me telling me, look, you are going to miss the chance. So I can close my eyes, close my ear and so on, so that I can control my senses. Santrindriya, control. So the next word is Santrindriya, the Nipakocha, the prudent. Nipaka means prudent. So again we need to explain this part over here, controlling the senses. You see, when I was working in Canberra, in the lunchtime I used to go for a walk, and there is a lake area. So I meet few people who are jogging there. Otherwise I can meditate. The meditation that we were discussing yesterday morning, the Eightfold Path meditation. There you can do while walking. For you to meditate that it is suffering, birth is suffering, aging is suffering, you don't need to sit down. So I had the habit of this contemplating like that one, and I go to this jhana, concentrations as well while walking. You have to be a bit careful not to step on those little creatures. Otherwise you can go very well with the meditation. So one day I found that I can't walk in this area because it's about to rain. So I decided to go to the shopping mall. When I was entering the shopping mall, I was thinking, when I was walking in that lake area, it is only few people, jogging people I meet. Over here it is a different scenario. People are coming with these clothes, different type of clothes and things like that one, opening, body parts are shown, and I have to control my senses. So I should look down and walk. So although you think you have to do that one, you have got to have guts to do that. Why you need the guts? Because these days people are saying, you look this way, you look that way, say hi, bye, and sort of go. Otherwise, it's no good. So I can tell you, one person in my office, he saw me walking like that one, because I always meditate and go into the work as well. The morning meditation I do, it's coming back when I'm walking and I'm thinking, pondering on that one. So this person saw me, and then he said in my office, I saw you walking today, frustrated, looking down. So he thought that I'm frustrated. So I was actually smiling at that person, because I know I'm really happy doing that meditation. You see, when in the office, when those people, let's say he is talking to somebody else and looking at me, then you probably think, this person is talking about my frustrations, looking down frustration or something. Or maybe that day when two people are talking in the office, you normally think that they are actually talking about me. That's the perception some people get. So your strength in that situation. Your strength is the precepts in the Eightfold Path. This was told to me by God Sumana Sama, who said, check your virtue at that time. Did I do any lie, harsh speech, slander, frivolous talks? No. So I am pure in that count. Did I do killing, stealing, sexual misconduct? No. So then I am pure on that count. If you check those 7 precepts, and if you haven't done those things, you haven't broken, then you are very strong. That is the strongness. Whatever they talk doesn't matter if you have these precepts. So I had guts. Whether the people in the office see me or not doesn't matter. I will look down and then I walk. As soon as I got that courage, put the effort that I am not going to look at these people, I am control my senses and look down, and then the rapture started flowing because my effort is there. When you have the effort, you get the rapture. So rapture started flowing. I walked there in that shopping mall for 40 minutes. The skipping those people who are coming, and the rapture was flowing for the whole 40 minutes. Then I went to the office, and then I thought, this is how I walk today. And the rapture started flowing again. The happiness is there. So you can see, I understand that it is prudent to live that way. You can live with the happiness rather than, like a bird looking this way, that way, sort of going. So that is what is called the control in the senses, prudent. Santrindriyocha nipakocha, prudent. When you become prudent, you become courteous. So remember when we were discussing this pagab or the courteous, the rudeness, when you are talking about the rudeness, we were talking about that mental impoliteness, where the king and the servant, when they become monks, the servant was thinking that I am equivalent to the king. So now the prudent person is not thinking that I am equivalent to the king, because he knows the king is suffering and I am suffering. Normally when someone is sort of having good life, that you think good life like a king, you think that he is having a good life. But you need to talk to the king and ask, do you, sir, actually have a good life? Then he will tell you. There is one discourse. There was one monk who was actually sitting down underneath the tree. Each time he sit down, he says, what a pleasure. So other monks look at this monk, and then they thought that this monk is not contemplating, he is not doing the brahmacharya, he is not having the noble living here. He thinks this is a pleasurable thing. So then they told this thing to the Buddha, and Buddha asked that monk to come and ask, are you saying this, what a pleasure, when you are sitting down underneath the tree? Yes, sir. Why are you actually doing that? And they say, Bhante, before I became a monk, I was a king. When I was in the palace, my palace was guarded by the guards. I was living with fear. And when I was with the queen, inside that bedroom, that my bedroom was guarded by those guards. But still I lived with fear. Now I don't have anyone guarding me. I can sit down anywhere. So that is my pleasure. So you see, when the president of Sri Lanka or president of America, when they are actually going, these guards are going, in front and in behind, and they are going in bulletproof vehicles, and so they are living with fear. If you know people who are actually close to the president, if you speak to them, they actually tell you the story. Even the lift, it's supposed to go to third floor. If it's going to the ground floor, those bodyguards, completely cover him up, and they live. Now they are thinking they are going to shoot. So they are living with fear because someone can send a bullet. You don't have that fear, but you have other fear, but you don't have that sort of a fear. You can go anywhere. So king is not having a good time. And I can tell you another good story. This is a story from Sri Lanka in about 1960s. There was a beggar. He can sleep very well. He's sleeping underneath the tree. And then there was this, next to that tree, in that area, there was a building, 2 or 3 story house. And this beggar, if he wake up at 3 o'clock or so, he can see that the man in that house is walking here and there, 3 o'clock midnight, not sleeping. So when he went on begging round and asked that rich man, why aren't you sleeping, sir? And this person did not say anything. He went inside and got 100 rupee note and gave to the beggar. So beggar went there. That day he got the 100 rupee note and put it in his hand, put underneath the pillow, sleeping onto that side. All of a sudden he wakes up, and then with the moonlight he look at, yes, 100 rupees note is there, put it to the other side and sleeping to that side. And again he wakes up and look at the 100 rupee note, put it to the other side. The whole night he couldn't sleep. So next day when he was going on that begging round, then this rich man asked, did you sleep last night? No, sir, I couldn't sleep. So he said, that is my problem. That is why I can't sleep as well. I actually saw this when I was working in Brunei. There was a European couple next door, and that their wife telling me that her husband is at night time, 3 o'clock. He is walking in the garden, smoking and walking in the garden, not sleeping. I asked why. She said that 5% of their money, only 5% of their money, they have invested on the stock market. The stock market collapsed. Now this guy can't now sleep. He actually died young. He didn't live up to 50 or so. He died young. You see that when people are there, having a good vehicles, big houses and so on, people think, this person is actually having a good life. But if you really ask that person, he is not having a good life. Underneath they are burning. So the prudent person know that there is no point being saying that I am equivalent to the king. Because king is suffering, I am suffering. We both have this, urine excrement in our body. And we both subject to aging, sickness. So the whatever problem I have, he has got the same problem. So why should I be lifting up to the king's level? So he get rid of those things. Courteous. And then he is not hankering after the association with families. Because if you are lifting up to the king's level, that means you are hankering after the king's family. We are the royal family. So now this person is not hanker after the association with the families. That is what is Kulesu Ananuvindo means. So this one is number 9, is something to do with the feeling. Because you were thinking that the king's family, royal family, is having a good time because they are having a good feelings, good pleasures, sort of thing. It's completely associated with the feeling. So now we have a look at 2 gathas from that one. So let's look at the third one. The third one is Nachakuddan Samachare Kinchiyena Vinyu Pare Upodeyu Sukhinova Kemino Hontu Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukhitatta. Now you can see there are certain differences in these Pali words over here. This is the Burmese Pali version of that one. So the Sinhala one says Natakudjan Samachari. So it has got a similar meaning, but they are a little bit different. So here it says, let him not perform the slightest wrong for which wise men may rebuke him. Let him think, may all beings be happy and safe. May they have happy minds. So he's spreading the loving kindness. So, you see, the slightest wrong for which wise men may rebuke. Wise men never say the hankering after this association with families, it's a good thing. The wise men never say that. They know it is a bad to, that I am a royal, I am a, sort of lifting yourself to this royal level or whatever thing it is. And it's a bad thing. So that sort of thing also he is giving now. Now he is spreading the loving kindness. You see, now he became qualified to spread the loving kindness. The number 9 is the qualification. So when you have the number 9, then you can go to number 10. You see, may all beings be happy. Sukhita chitta, sukhitatta. Happy minds. So why is that number 9? Why we got to have the number 9 to do the number 10? Let us look at a simple example. You see, in Sri Lanka, there was a war. Then there was this Tamil leader who passed away. He died. So when that person passed away, one group of people say that it is good that this guy is dead. Another group of people said, oh, our leader is dead. Now, just leave these two group of people as they are. Underneath what they have is this kula, that is this hanker after association with families. So just move that carpet. If it is like a carpet, so you move that one between the two groups. So those people who were used to say that, it is good that this guy is dead. Now when you change the family structure, now they are saying, oh, our leader is dead. Those people who was telling that our leader is dead, now they are saying, it is good this guy is dead. You see, those people who are actually spreading the loving kindness, and when those who are saying that it is good that this guy is dead, when they spread the loving kindness, and then as soon as this person's figure comes up, the Tamil leader's figure comes up, then there is a hole in their metta bucket. They can't spread the metta. They can't spread the loving kindness. Or in other words, you can see, was it actually the metta there? Was it actually a loving kindness? It is just we were actually saying, let my kind be well. That's what it is. As soon as you take something opposite person into group, then your metta is gone. So it is not a metta. It's just merely words about the metta. So now you can see it is because of this family thing, anchor after association with families. That's what preventing us from spreading the loving kindness to anybody. So the qualification is not hanker after association with families. If you are not doing that, then you are qualified to spread the loving kindness. Now, although we explain this one using an example, the Dhamma is also a bit deeper in this one. Dhamma is deeper in the sense that not hanker after association with families means it is not mine. If it is not mine, then you have this thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence, thought of non-harming. That means you have the right thought. So now you are spreading, because you are in the right thought, then you can see, I am following the good path. The right thought is the thought of renunciation. So if there is thought of renunciation, I am following the non-greed path. It is in the greed path that I have lying as well as the stealing. Since I am following the good path, I am giving up the greed, I am giving up the lying as well as the stealing. And I am following the non-malevolence path because of my right thought. So I am going through the non-hate path. Since I am following the non-hate path, I will be doing up things that are in the hate path. So what are the things in the hate path? The harsh speech and the slander, as well as killing. So I will be giving up those things. And again, I am following the non-delusion path. Since I am following the non-delusion path, I will be giving up things that are in the delusion path. What are the things in the delusion path? It is this sexual misconduct as well as the frivolous talks. So we will be giving up those. Now you can see we are going for 10 skill states of the mind. If you remove this verbal misconduct, physical misconduct and the mental misconduct, so because you are renouncing, then you can see we can actually spread the loving kindness. This needs to be coupled with another discourse. It's called twofold thought discourse. Dveda Vitaka Sutta in middle length sayings. There Buddha said when he was a bodhisattva, still to be enlightened, the sensual thought arose in him. And then he understood the sensual thought has arisen in me. It is harming me. It is harming others. It is harming both. And it is destructive of intuitive wisdom. When he was actually thinking like that, the sensual thought subsided. And again the bodhisattva got the ill will thought. And the bodhisattva was thinking, the ill will thought has arisen in me. It is harming me, harming others, harming both. And it is destructive of intuitive wisdom. So then the ill will thought subsided. And bodhisattva got the harming thought. And then bodhisattva was thinking, the harming thought has arisen in me. It is harming me, harming others, harming both. And it is destructive of intuitive wisdom. And then this harming thought subsided. So that has to be coupled with this, what I said. So here, not hankering after association with families means it is not mine. So you have the thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence and thought of non-harm. And then we are going for the precepts because we are following the good path. So you go up over here, come back to the left side, and it has to be coupled with that twofold thought discourse where one would be subsiding the sensual thought, ill will thought and the harming thought. And then now he is qualified to spread the loving kindness. You see, if I don't have these 10 skill states, can I actually spread the loving kindness? While killing an animal, can I say, let you be well? I can't do that. And I have a harsh speech towards a child or someone and then say, let you be well. I can't do that. So we got to have this refraining from lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks, killing, stealing. When you don't have that one, then you can spread the loving kindness. So they go hand in hand. So now this person is now spreading the loving kindness to all the living beings, that giving up this troubling the living beings. You refrain from those things and not letting them have these harmful thoughts. And you are not hurting anyone. And then you have this the sort of compassion, loving kindness to those people. You are saying, let them not have suffering. That's what you are actually saying when you are spreading the loving kindness. So we have now come to the fourth one. The fourth gatha is that Yekechipana bhutatti tasavata varava anavasesa digavaye mahantava majjima rasakankutuva diktavaye va dikta echadure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhavesiva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Whatever living beings there may be, feeble or strong, and the long or stout or medium size, short, small, large, those seen or those unseen, those dwelling far or near, those who are born as well as those yet to be born, may all beings have happy minds. Now he's spreading loving kindness. There are the animals like snakes, they are long. And then there are elephants, big ones. The cows, medium-sized ones. The small ones, big ones. All the living beings. The persons to be born as well. Sabbe bhutava sambhavesiva. That means those who were born as well as those yet to be born. Who are in the mind-made body also included. So now this person is spreading the loving kindness. And next one it says, Naparo paran nikupeta nati manyeta kattinam kanchi vyarosana patikasanya nyanya manyasa dukkhamicchaya. Let him not deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. In anger or ill will, let him not wish another ill. And these two terms have been marked in that diagram. You can see number 11 over here. We say, in anger, let him not wish another ill. So if you are not wishing another person to have, harm, that because of the anger, so then the anger will be taken out. There won't be any anger. And again, number 12, you can see next to this ill will and envy. In ill will, let him not wish another ill. Patikasanya. So you are not wishing another to have any harm because of the ill will. So the ill will be taken out because of that behavior. And then let's go to the next one of that gatha. It says, Mata yata niyam puttam ayusayeka puttam anurakke evampi sabba bhutesu manasambhave aparimana. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so let one cultivate a boundless love towards all beings. You see, just as a mother would protect her only child. How would a mother protect her only child? You see, if a mother is carrying a baby, she is going over a bridge, there's this water underneath. If the baby is fallen to the river, a mother would jump. Even if she can't swim, she will jump to protect the baby, save the baby. So that is what it is, would protect her only child with her life. When the mother sort of think about giving something to her a son or baby, she always think, I will give him something good. I wouldn't be giving a knife to put on his mouth or poison things. I will be giving good things. So in other words, a mother has got purified physical actions towards the baby. Not giving any weapons or anything to harm that baby. And also, when a mother utter a speech towards the baby, she will utter a good speech. She will not say this harsh speech, bad words to the baby. So in other words, mother has got purified verbal actions towards her own baby. When the mother think about the baby or the son, always think, let there be some good for this baby. Let she or he meet any misfortune. Always have purified mental actions towards the baby. So in other words, a mother has got purified physical, verbal and mental actions towards her own baby. So Buddha said, in the same way, you spread the loving kindness to all the beings with the purified, the physical, verbal and mental actions. If you have the purified verbal actions for your baby, and if you are not thinking, let my son be dead, and you are not actually giving poison or anything to that person, you should not be doing that one to your next door neighbor's son as well. Not giving the poison, not giving any weapons or anything to put on the mouth or anything like that. So we got to have the purified physical actions towards the neighbor's baby as well, neighbor's son or whoever. And if you have the purified verbal actions for your baby, then you got to have the purified verbal actions towards the next door neighbors maybe as well. If you are not uttering a bad speech for your baby, then you should not be doing that one for the next door neighbor. If you have the purified mental actions for your baby, you got to have the purified mental actions for the next door neighbor's baby as well. In other words, if you are not thinking, let my son be dead, you should not be thinking, let my neighbor's son be dead as well. So for your neighbor, you take your land, your garden. So in that garden, there are these little creatures. They have the families as well. That is your neighbor. Now imagine that someone, if your baby is underneath that soil, if someone is coming up with something to dig on that one, would you let them? You are saying, don't eat, my baby is inside this one. So Buddha is asking us to do that same thing for those little creatures as well. So if I ask you, do you kill animals? You would say, no, I don't. But if I ask you, whether do you plant any plants in your garden? Yes, we do. So when you are planting the plants, then you can see those little creatures underneath, they die. So we don't have that loving kindness for them in that one. And then the question comes to you, why am I doing this one? Why am I planting these plants? For what? The flowers and all those things. Why do I do that? Because my next door neighbor got a beautiful garden. He's enjoying a good life. My next door neighbor on that side also having a good life, good garden. And in front also the same. So they are in a family of flowers and good gardens and so on. So I want to be included in that one. So you can see here we are talking about the hankering after the families. When we hanker after association with families, we forget the little one. We forget that little creature underneath that one. So when we go by these families, you know that the good flowers, what the flower does to you? It doesn't give you any food or anything. But we do that one to make this place beautiful and sort of thing, isn't it? So it's something to do with the feeling. So when I go after that one, I can't spread the loving kindness because that I am letting these little creatures be killed. So Buddha is asking us to spread the loving kindness with the good conduct. We got to have the bodily good conduct, verbal good conduct, and then the mental good conduct, purified verbal, physical and mental actions. With that one, you can spread the loving kindness. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? I can't say these little creatures, let you be well, but I am digging. They get killed. So that is that path. So look at that Buddha's words. Buddha was saying, just as a mother protect with her own life, with her life. That's why someone is actually coming to dig. You are saying you put your body in front of that. Don't dig. My son is inside this one. You are going to protect. So that's what Buddha meant. So then we are going to the next one. Number 8. Let him radiate boundless love towards the entire world. Above, below, across, unhindered. That is metta. Mettancha sabba lokasmi mana sambhave aparimana uddam adocha tiriyancha asambadam averan nasapatta. Asambadam, averan, without ill will and without the enmity. You are spreading the loving kindness. For the above, you can take the akanitta. When you say below, you can say earth. And the across, you can say this, in between the two. So those planets, the divine planets, as well as the hells, all are included. So this person is now spreading the loving kindness. Tittan charan nisinnova, sayanova yavatassa vigata viddo, etan satin aditteya brahmametam viharam vidamahu. When he was standing, walking, sitting or reclining, as long as he is awake, let him develop this mindfulness. This, they say, is noble living. Brahmameta. Brahmameta is noble living. What is the noble living? It is the mindfulness. The mindfulness that you have, I am a person who is spreading the loving kindness with purified verbal actions, physical actions, and the mental actions. That is, I am refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. Those are the physical ones. And I am refraining from lying, harm speech, frivolous talks, and slander. Those are the verbal actions. So you are refraining from those, killing, lying, harm speech. And then what are the things that are done by the mind, the bad ones? So they are abhijja, covetousness, the ill will, and then the wrong will. So one would be getting rid of those things as well. So if we have a mindfulness, such a mindfulness, then it is called the noble living. The mindfulness is important. You see, you may be actually sort of calculating something, mathematical sum or something. And over here, on the left hand, maybe some mosquito over there. So if you concentrate on this thing, and your hand might come over here and go and kill. So even when we preach Dhamma, one has to be careful. So your hand may be actually pointing at somebody's body. You see that you got to be mindful to that extent as well. So the Buddha was preaching Dhamma like that. See, not pointing at anybody else's body parts. So that is Buddha's mindfulness to that level. So it's a noble living, Brahmametam. And then next one it says, Dittincha anupagamma silava dassanena sampanno kamesu vinayya geda naijatu gabbaseyam punareti. Not falling into wrong views, being virtuous, endowed with insight, lust in the senses discarded, verily never again will he return to conceive in a womb. Not falling into wrong views, being virtuous, endowed with insight. So there was this insight. What was the insight? Insight is we got to have this purified verbal, physical and mental actions towards all the beings. So in other words, now he is actually going to make his virtue thoroughly established. So this part is also marked in the diagram. You can say not falling into wrong views, being virtuous. The number 13 marked over here, Silava, virtue. So we started with the virtue. See, number 1 and number 2, upright and exceedingly upright. Over there we said that we are refraining from this frivolous talk, slander and so on. So the verbal actions, we got to have the good verbal actions. Purified verbal actions and purified physical actions. Now having gone through this path, the knowledge path, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and going round this one. Now when we come to 13, now here we are saying we need to include the purified mental actions in the virtue part as well. So what are the unpurified mental actions? That is covetousness, ill will and then the wrong view. We got rid of the wrong view at number 9. When we say we don't hanker, not hanker after association with families, we got rid of the wrong view. And then we left with ill will and the covetousness, bad mental conduct. So we got rid of ill will in number 12. We are saying in ill will, let him not wish another ill. So ill will is gone. So what is left? The covetousness. So since there is covetousness, now you are saying how the covetousness come to arise. It is because of this lust in the senses. So now you are saying kamesu vinayya geda. The number 14, you can see the number 14 marked next to this sensual desire. The text is written to the left side of it. But text actually should be in this circle where the number 14 is. Since I don't have space, I have written onto the left side. So that means lust in the senses discarded. Because of the lust in the senses, I get this covetousness. You like food. Because of the food, then you say this, let this be mine. The job be mine. And so on. So you get the covetousness. because of the lust in the senses. Now you are saying lust in the senses, this caste will not return to conceive in a womb. Nahi jatu gabbaseya punarayatiti. I am not going to conceive in a mother's womb. In other words, I am not going to go inside that canal of urine and excrement. That's what you are going to say. So that is Metta Sutta. So how do we meditate on this Metta Sutta? So you go by the Metta Sutta itself. Most of you remember Karaniya Matta Kusalena, but don't be a parrot. Just don't go very quickly on that one. You need to stop by these numbers. Number 1, when it comes to upright, you need to stop and understand what I am doing over there. What I am doing. I am actually abide by my virtue. I am refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. I am refraining from lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks and slander. So when you are actually doing that one, to do that, what you need to do? You say these precepts are valuable, I am going to abide by them. Thoroughly stamp that hereafter I am not going to do this lying, harsh speech thing. So when you have 1 and 2, you first approve it, then you abide by it, then you can come to the third one, the obedient. When you come to the obedient level, what you need to do? You need to recall to your mind the meditation you did yesterday, Vattupama Sutta, second meditation. Over there, remember we understood the envy is bad, the stinginess is bad, and derogation and disparaging, and you don't need to do that meditation again, but you recall to your mind, I did this one, I approve these things I have been as bad things, and I got rid of it in that meditation. At that time you got rid of it. So then you become obedient. When you become obedient, then you become gentle. You don't have the bodily impoliteness, you don't have the verbal impoliteness. And when you become gentle, you become humble. So it is against this arrogance. So you can remember that 16-year-old girl when she was beautiful, that become arrogance. So this is the other way around. That person become humble. When someone become humble, then that person can control the senses. We can go to number 6. Remember my example at why that beautiful girl is looking at the other persons, because she want to get the stamp. They are looking at me, therefore I am beautiful. In terms of Dhamma, when I am humble, then I have the less taint of sensual, less taint of views. When we have the less taint of views, I have the less taint of sensual desire. So 2 people are not hitting me, only 1. That is the sign and features of that person. So if I close my eyes, I don't see that person. I don't grab the sign and features. Therefore, I can control these senses. So number 5, we come to number 6 from going up, left, and then coming down. Going up, left, and coming down. So when I control the senses, remember how I was walking in that lake area, and when you control your senses, it is good to control your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind, all of them. And then you are rewarded with the happiness, the rapture. So then you become prudent. It is good to be like that one. And when you become prudent, then you are not going to say the king and I are equivalent, because you know that king is suffering, I am suffering. That rich man over there, top of the hill, he is suffering as well as I am suffering. So you are not going to uplift yourself. You are not going to uplift to the jhana level and saying I am equal to the Brahma or anything like that. In other words, you are not hankering after association with families. The families thing you have given up. And then, now you can see, since it is not mine, you are not hanker after associating with families, means that it is not mine. If it is not mine, that means I have the thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence, thought of tanha. So then I am following the good paths, good 3 paths. non-greed, non-hate, and non-delusion paths. So there I am actually giving up lying, harsh speech, frivolous talks and slander, as well as killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. Now I am qualified to spread the loving kindness because I don't kill. I can say, let you be well. Because I don't have harsh speech, I can say, let you be well. So now we are spreading the loving kindness. We come to number 10. You are saying, let all beings be happy. Let they have happy minds. So now you are spreading the loving kindness to the living beings, the big ones, small ones, far away ones that you have seen, not seen. You are spreading the loving kindness. And then also, because of the anger, you are not wishing another ill. Because of the ill will also, you are not wishing another ill. So this anger is gone and the ill will is gone. And whatever the envy you have associated with the ill will be gone as well. And then you are spreading the loving kindness as a mother spreading the loving kindness. She would spread the loving kindness with the purified, the verbal, physical and mental actions. So then you are going into the last one, Dittin Chanapagamma Silavan, not falling into wrong views, being virtuous. So you are going to include in your virtue the mental actions, purified mental actions. So we got rid of 2 of the bad mental actions already. That is not hanker after association with families. That means it is not mine. So the wrong view is gone. So the 3 mental actions, the wrong view, ill will, and then the covetousness. So the ill will we got rid of at number 12. So what is left is the covetousness. Having seen something, let this be mine. So why am I saying that one? Because of the sensual pleasures. Because I have the lust in the senses. So if I discard them, lust in the senses discard, then I can get rid of the covetousness as well. And when you are saying, I will not return to a canal of urine and excrement, nahi jatu gabbasayan punareti. So that is the meditation you are going to do. So go through those 15 parts. Stop at every point. So let's take sort of 15 minutes break to take this on into your mind, and then we will do the meditation.